and pray and say that
okay.
anytime the name Sweetie is mentioned by anybody in their tomb in Spain, tell me.
On the floor.
People, technologians can be paid the way we pay tarot readers. The way we go and pay tarot readers and tell them that, tell me the energy in the air. It's the same way right now people can pay people who work in tech.
Weird. Okay, we're at Mill Creek.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where she was since she was
so
2.
that they can track people for you. So just maintain your spiritual hygiene.
Who knows?
Don't think that you
See, even
you can gossip about someone and
I
pretend
don't want to say we were lucky, but I think
to be their friends. And you,
Christine taught Leah for 5 years herself.
cannot be tracked.
Jeez. Okay, that's different.
Everything you do in the dark right now, as long as you have a gadget, you have a tea.
Like, and they just form a bond. It's almost like a mother figure as opposed to a coach.
Think my point. If you want
And I don't think
to save yourself, because you will enter into such a certain embarrassment that you did not expect, thinking that you are sleep,
Literally, that's what I was
gossiping
about
about
to say
people,
to you. I'm
thinking
like,
that you
they come
they're not
back.
hearing you, and yet you have your
So she's
phone.
been doing a year of coaching training.
Yeah.
She did
Maintain your spiritual
When she
hygiene.
needs her
Be somebody who
volunteer.
you mind your business, you grow yourself,
makes
and you leave
sense,
other
right?
people's businesses alone,
And then
because
it's just
everything
like
is
coaching
accessible in
experience.
this
She
timeline.
said
Nothing.
you have to be ready and you have to train as a volunteer. So she did it for a year. She loves it, but she's also too young to have to be employed, right? She just turned 15 in September. So what's that? 3 months ago? 4 months ago? So they just gave it to her last month. They said, okay, so February 1st,
She can work?
she's gonna work.
What?
She's gonna get her own class.
That's crazy. She
Isn't
gets
that
her own
nice?
class?
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
It is.
Yeah, that's gonna be such an
Assume
experience
that
for her.
there's
She's
something
gonna go
off
so
about this
much.
particular individual,
Yesterday was her
or
last
something off
class,
about this
like,
particular
doing
individual.
the
Please
coaching training.
pay attention to your own intuition, because the world is a very dangerous place right now. People are being targeted, and you might just be sitting at home thinking that nobody is worrying about you, but you're being watched. You're being watched.
I think it's like,
And when they watch you and they realize that you have certain gifts, certain juices, they
That
send
could
people
be
into your
intimidating a
life.
little bit, right?
it is,
She's so young,
Destroy.
yeah.
and she goes, there's nothing for me to do though.
I
Because the
am a
parents-
Oh, doing
survivor.
everything.
with the
And I'm here
Yeah.
to tell you to dodge the
It's
bullet. I'm
like
from
the
the future telling you as a spiritual
4-year-old,
practitioner,
5-year-old
if you know you have some talents you're carrying, protect that talent at all costs. Because it is the people around you that they will use to squash you. The people you've allowed entry into your life are the ones that will be used to squash you.
Incredible.
Right now, people are being
Nowhere.
sent
Nowhere.
into spiritual people's
Wow, that's
lives just to
beautiful.
destroy
I
and
just love
to
listening
throw
to the
things
stories
off.
because
So
I
be
hear so
careful,
many
be
here.
careful, be
I
careful.
see
And
the
I'm also
numbers
not
and
here to
all the
fearmonger.
numbers that lead sucks.
This is not me fear-mongering. This is not me telling you to walk in fear. I'm just telling you that as long as you maintain your spiritual hygiene, the universe will never allow anything to throw you off your path. But if you are serving the devil and God at the same time, then you are jeopardizing your own self.
continue doing gymnastics.
So I will repeat again for the people who are not here. In those groups that you are on here, even as you are subscribed to me, 285 of you, be
She
careful.
has to be in provincial.
I don't know people who are here. So don't think that, oh, just because I met them in Swedish platform, they are angelic. No. There are certain people who are in this platform and are the most demonic individual that you'll ever meet. Maintain your spiritual autonomy and be vigilant.
I'm okay with it.
Are we together, my people now?
After COVID and
Watu wangu, are we together? Najua hiyo ni ya kuku. You know, some people are afraid, but I'm not here to keep fear, to make you be afraid. I'm just here to tell you that as long as you're a spiritual person, you're being targeted. There are targets around. The more you near, you are thrown. The more spiritual targets are being sent your way, throw you off your path. And me, I've dealt. And I can stand here and tell you that I've been victorious every
that's
time.
true. That's true.
And I'll just because I'm talking about this, let me just tell you. Can you explain spiritual hygiene again? I will explain. Spiritual hygiene is do no evil and accept no evil. Do no evil and accept no evil. Stubbornly do no evil and stubbornly accept no
He's
evil.
very active.
That's lovely, really.
There are people who have come into my life, guys.
That's the thing.
I've been sent people into my
I was
life.
a competitive swimmer, my other daughter.
People who came, and this is how they come. Listen, let me just tell you, through my own experiences, maybe other people have other experiences, but these are my experiences. The first way these people come into your life
She's a
to destroy you is when they realize that you're moving through to a certain path. They come, and then, like for example, there was in I think 2022 or 2023.
really
I think it's 2022.
swimming,
2 European organizations approached me.
but she went to teaching.
First of all, before I talk about the European organizations, let me talk about the Indian guy who approached me here in Kenya. That's when I was starting this work. This Indian guy approached me and told me that, oh, I have videos of ancient Africans that I would love to give you so that you tell it to the people. But then, him telling me that, oh, I have videos, so that, but then the contract behind me going to work with them was so, it is a contract that I could not accept. Like something just told me, don't accept this contract. But they came to me saying that, oh, we have videos of ancient Africans and we'd love to give it to you for you to showcase it to the people, but here are the conditions.
Isn't that lovely? Oh.
First of all, they wanted to lock me in a contract, almost a 5-year contract, with paying like 10,000 Kenyan shillings. 10,000 Kenyan shillings was the salary that they wanted to give me after locking me for 5 years. So be careful if you know that you're somebody who you are starting your own independent something. There are people who will come with contracts to put you in contracts they tie. Yes, it was 10K. They wanted to give me 10K. When they told me about that 10K, and this was an Indian guy who was very rich, I just said, and those were the times when I was starting. Now the second one is some white Indians and Asians. They were just, I don't know what they were, but I met them in a room, and there was an Asian, there was a European man, and then there were just some characters that looked Asians from different parts of the world. So they called me, they told me they were based in South Africa, they came into my life, promised, they promised me a job. This one now, they promised a job that was really good, with really, really good pay. And I accepted. Now, after me accepting this particular job that they promised me, remember I was also doing my TikTok things on the side. So they come into my life, they promised me that, oh, we're going to be paying you this much, millions. We are talking about millions. And then you're going to be doing this blah, 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 blah. I said, yes, okay, that's something I've been willing to do. Now, after giving me such a beautiful offer, they went and they kept quiet. They went and they kept quiet. Why were they doing this? Now let me tell you, some people will come into your life when they know that you have energy, you're doing something that is going to help you plus the people, and then they promise you something, and then they never talk to you again because they want you. Yes, they ghosted me, and then they want you to get into a state of depression as you're waiting because the deal was very good. That deal was very good, and then they leave you like that. And these were like, there was no African. When I met these people in Nairobi, they came all the way from South Africa. And let me tell you, I was supposed to meet them. On the day I was supposed to meet them, I completely forgot. But then because I forgot to meet them, my heart just told me, okay, it's fine, I can let go of that particular opportunity. So I told them that I completely forgot. I did not even come up with an excuse. They called me, why did you come to the meeting? I told them I completely forgot, and it's okay. It's okay, I can let go of the opportunity. But then they told me that, oh, no, it's fine, even if you forgot, we can organize another time. And then they organized that another time. I went, met them. We talked. Imagine I'm in a room with 10 people. All of them, foreigners. We talked for almost 30 minutes. How we're going to do the job, And then after that, they went. Never talk to me again. Imagine if I was a weakling. Imagine if I was somebody who
5.
I was relying on that so much. I would have gotten into depression. Another,
That's a
Iclay,
long day
there's
for you.
another group, Iclay, they came to me again.
It was
Told, went, put me through interviews. The interviews took 2 years.
And you know what?
And then after the interviews took 2 years, I qualified as
Okay, you
the
take
top
this day,
candidate.
the other.
Yeah, and that really
After I
helped.
qualified as the top candidate,
If you don't have
Okay, wow.
that, right? Because Marissa, how many days does she actually train?
Does she train 6 days a week?
6 days, right here with
With Christine, yeah.
Yeah, see, we're not there with Leah. We're not there.
Yeah, but we're coming from futures where she was 7 and she trained 30 hours.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and we just came here and everything's scaled back. So I mean, it sounds like a lot, but where we're coming from, it's like
Wow.
really relaxed here.
30 hours. That's crazy.
Yeah, she was in elite gymnastics, but she got psychologically messed up at futures. Yeah, they didn't know how to, when you have mental blocks, how to help the athlete like move through that. And you imagine from 2 to 8 just flying through, no problem.
because of
no
this thing.
mental blocks.
Because they
no-
promise you and they
she
tell you,
was
some people
just
even
on
get
a
into
path,
debt.
right?
Yeah.
She was level
They come
8.
and they promise you a lot,
So,
a
I
lot,
was
a
happy
lot.
with her progress,
So much that
everything
you
was
can even
going
start
fine.
telling your
When she
friends
got
that,
her
oh, you
mental
know,
block,
me, I am going to get a
everybody's
job that's going to be paying
frustrated,
me
but at the end of the
10
day,
million a
until she-
month.
They think what magically she's going
They
to
never talk, they never say
have a
anything,
breakthrough
they
and
disappeared
start
like
doing
that.
her
And
skill,
me,
so
I will not
she
reach out to
suffered
you and
for
start
years
begging you that,
before
oh,
we
what did
realized
what
how broken she
happened?
was.
What
And
happened?
then
What
she
happened? I
just
never
didn't
did
do
that.
it.
Up to now,
But
this is
luckily,
almost
I
the
had
third
started
year
her
since
doing
those people
lessons
reached out to me and we went through the
because I
entire
saw her
process.
going inward.
And they never
And
talked, they never
I
did
couldn't
anything.
tell what was happening, and she
When I
started
sat
doing
down
projects
with my
her.
spiritual
So once she
analysis,
stopped her
I know
futures,
that these
I
were
just kept
people
her
who
Christine
wanted
and
to
Christine was
string me
just
along for their own stimulations,
I feel
string
like
me
she goes
along
up on the ground.
so that I can even live doing my TikTok, live doing my own things as I think that their offer is big and it
Like,
is
I'm still
there.
getting to know her. Not
Only for me to
everybody
find out
does know her,
that
but
the
she
offer is
always
not
had,
there.
yeah.
They were wasting my time. They were wasting my time the whole time. But I thank myself. I'm grateful for the person that I am.
I didn't expect to
I'm
be
grateful
here
for the
because I never
person that my
expected to be
ancestors
here
made me
either.
to be.
But
Because
we'll
I
see
am
where
not
the journey takes us,
desperate
right?
and I've never been.
Yeah, but I
And even though they did all that, I never stopped. I never stopped doing what I was doing. It never got me to a state of depression. I waited and waited and saw that they were joking around with me, and I let it. So spiritually, they come to you with different forms.
I stopped
They
working because
bring
of
people
her
in your
since I
life
had her,
just to
and
spy, and sometimes
my
it will be your
husband
own
just said,
family,
yeah,
guys.
She
When
joined the competitive team at
I don't want to
2,
cry.
which
But I'll
is
tell
really
you,
weird for
they
us,
will
and
use
she's
your
doing all
own
these
family
hours, and
members.
She had to do all these extra things because you have to strength train, you have to stretch, and it was just like,
Just
are
come
you
here.
doing this? My husband's like, yeah, like he was in he played for Mississauga Warriors, so he's always been in sports his whole life, and not me. But he was like, yeah, give her the opportunity. Let's see what happens. So I quit my job, and I've been, I guess, schlepping her since then. Yeah.
It's good. If you can do it, oh,
This is the negativity of having makeup.
part-time.
You cannot just cry.
Which is even great.
I worked part-time for 15 years.
You have?
15 years I worked part-time
Okay.
because I said I need my foot in the door because I can't quit. And then I wanted to raise my children, be there for my children.
Yeah.
So that helped a lot. That helped a lot. When Leah went into grade 1, I
Yeah,
went back
so
full-time.
Ooh.
sometimes when you see that,
Horrific.
you know, some people, they look at me and they see that, oh, this girl is so blessed.
Oh yeah, that
She gets money
like it?
for free just like that. You don't know what I deal with behind closed doors.
so much more. You know, that's, when you're part-time, you don't invest as much energy.
It's true. It's true.
When you're full-time,
Yeah.
like you're fully invested. And it
Oh.
sucks it. And you know, even my husband keeps
Okay,
moving
girl.
from his job.
Okay?
That's why every time we move,
Yeah.
it's just that much more work.
I don't know. I couldn't get into it.
Crying is okay, you know.
I'm just
So at the end of the day, guys,
What do we do? How can we retire? When are
they
we-
will block.
How can we retire comfortably?
your money, they will do stuff. So just know that spiritual work is easy. It's easy the way you're seeing me. I do it easily because some people think I'm being paid to be myself. It's very easy, but the spiritual attacks, that is where your faith gets tested. It is in the spiritual attacks that your faith get tested, and you will be tested if you don't have a faith that can withstand fire. This is why I always tell you, if you see spiritual people out there, people who are faking spirituality, leave them, because the time to test the faith. People who are fake will not stand. People who are fake will not stand when the faith is being tested. Their faith will not stand the test of time. So never worry. If you see a tarot reader that is fake, let them. Satan is coming. The planet of restriction. It comes and it tests everybody. Whether you are angelic or demonic, it tests you. So when you see people being fake, you know, some people, when I started, people thought I was fake. When you see people being fake, leave them. Time tests. Because spiritual work is not easy. Time tests, and when time tests, all the fake fall. All the fake, they have tower moments, and it is only the truth that stands the test of time. So that was the beginning of this. I know there are spiritual people in the comment section who are coming behind me, who are young. This is me coming from the future to tell you, solace, retaining your own autonomy. In spirituality, there is no group work. There's no working with people who you think will defend you, because when the test comes, everything falls off and it's just you and a tool. It is just you. You are the one who gets tested. So please, if you're a spiritual practitioner, just know that the path is very easy because you get to do what comes naturally to you. But then there are tests that come behind that, and things will be removed. Things that were attached to will be removed. And I hope that you stand. Even when it's done. And I'll repeat again, even here as we are speaking, 286 of you, there are snakes. There are people who are here as spies. There are people who are here and they will access you in the DM. They will access you in the WhatsApp groups. They will access you in places, and they will try to throw off your Kundalini energy. My advice to you will be, retain your autonomy and do no evil and accept no evil.
So, and then the third year, we said,
thank you very much.
Flip it now.
So now today we have a class to talk about sin, the opposite of sex. This particular topic, I was supposed to do it on OnlyFans, but then because I hadn't been given the opportunity to go live yet, which they've given me already, so from 1st of February I'll be going live on OnlyFans as well. But let me just do also this topic with you as a promotion to OnlyFans, so that you see the type of energy. You know, when I talk about OnlyFans and blah blah blah, you might think I'm bluffing or whatever, but just listen to the type of content that we're going to be teaching. They are very raw, very true, so that you know. I want you to know energies and how to interact with them, because I feel like I go through these things before I came into this live. I was asking myself, like, should I tell these people the things I go through? But then, you know, a voice whispered to me and told me that there's somebody that might be following your path, the path that you're following. And if I don't tell you the challenges, you might think it's a lovely walk. And then when you start meeting your own challenges, you might think that, oh, but Suriname cannot did not meet any challenges. So there are challenges. So and me, I've met challenges from foreigners. Now Asians. And I'll tell you this.
Go make yourself a snack.
I know that it is nothing personal. It was there to test me, and I passed with the flying colors. But those are things I will never wish on anyone.
Always with her.
Because I see people fall due to such kind of things. They traumatize you mentally. So if you're not strong mentally, they come and they promise you. Sometimes you do even a job. There's an Indian guy from South Africa who gave me a job.
And then she'll prepare as much.
And then they stay with your money. They give you a job. They promise, the contract promises to pay you at a certain time. When that time comes, they don't pay you.
Oh, yes.
And then they stay with your money.
Oh, okay.
So now it is upon you, you know, Speak. And if you're a people pleaser, you might start thinking that, oh, if I ask them for my money, they'll never employ me again. What is yours is yours. If that person will not employ you again, let them go. And it's in fact people who stay with your money beyond the contract dates are not people who you should be working with over and over again. But because some people are very weaklings, they are content creators, they are people who are influencers who are weaklings. When these people stay with their money, they don't ask for it because they are people pleasers. They are like, oh, if I ask, they will never give me another job again. But me, I'm like, I don't want another job from you if you're not respectful of the contract. So I'm glad that I'm like that. Some people might call it rude or rogue. I don't care because at the end of the day, I deserve what I work for. And I respect myself, and I expect everyone to respect me the same way I respect myself. Anyway, let me start. You have always been very yeah. So there are things that spirituality is not easy. It's not easy. I will tell you that for free. It's not easy. Spirituality has attacks. I wish you all the best in your own journey, because me, I've passed my own journey and I've seen the terror. So as you're passing your own journey, I wish you all the best too. I wish you all the best, and I'll always be here as your elder sister. As your elder sister who has passed through probably the things that you will pass through. So if you feel like I am more advanced than you, always come to me, because I will be there to help. But me, I did not have anybody to go to. I handled it on my own. But I will always be here to help those that are behind me. So anyway, let's continue. I will not even do anthems, I will not do countries or recap. We're going to do recap of the entire January by the end of this particular live. I'm very emotional, but allow me, I'm a woman. We're going to do a recap of this entire live. So I will not do a recap at the beginning. Announcement is OnlyFans. And also, like, people who are watching me for the first time, you can subscribe. And also, please follow me if you're watching me for the first time and you've not followed me. Also follow me. Thank you. So now the topic is sin, the opposite of sex. And then January farewell. So far we've done January. January is over, guys. And to me, if I'm just being honest, this is the best January of my life. Ever since I was born. Today I'm emotional, but it's okay. I'm going to move regardless. And I want you to see the emotions. I don't care about people who say that, oh, you shouldn't cry on camera. I don't care. There's nothing that you can do. I'm going to be crying on camera when I feel like crying on camera. So, as I was saying, what was I saying even before that? I had something good I was saying. I was saying that this is the best January in my life. This has been the best January in my life. Why? Because this January has not even been long. Most Januaries are usually very long to me. This January has passed very easily. This is the January that I was very organized. This is the January that I was present throughout. Most Januaries I'm never present. I'm always just like, it's passing, and I'm always joining the bandwagon of people saying that January is difficult, January is broke, January is what. But this January has been the best for me so far. And I hope, yes, it was very...
It's so crazy, like this whole... I don't know. I don't even know how I got here because...
Have you guys noticed that February and March are twins? If you haven't noticed yet, go check out. February and March are twins. Yeah. So I'm going to talk to you about that as I release the calendar for February and also the calendar for March. But February and March are going to be a repetition of each other, a complete repetition of each other. So be prepared for that. And know that February and March we are preparing to start a planting season. So during this particular January, prepare. The thing you are even supposed to write down. March is coming, we're starting to plant. So January, February, March towards the end, we're starting to plant. So now what are you going to be planting? January and February we prepare the seeds. We prepare the seeds that are going to last us for the whole year. If you are in Africa, if you are in Europe, and if you are in the northern hemisphere, what do they call the northern hemisphere? But if you are in the southern hemisphere, the planting season that you're going to be doing from March entering April is going to last us all the way to September when we plant again. as people of the southern hemisphere. They call it southern hemisphere, but it is the true north. What they call south is the north, and what they call north is south.
If it's a private lesson, I don't know if it's just maybe some strength training. I don't know. Whatever.
Okay, even Sudan.
So they did an assessment.
Yeah.
They found that her shoulders are way too tight.
Sudan is like Kenya. Kenyan. Kenya.
She needs some strength.
Sudan. Sud means south, and Egypt.
Okay.
Modern Egypt is ancient Sudan. So our ancestors, there's a place called Sahel. Sahel. Please, if you don't know these things, go research. There's a place called Sahel, which is starting from all the way from Sudan to West Africa. There's a place that is called Sahel. That place is what was called Sud. It is Sudan, Sud, south. And Arabs used to call it the land of the blacks. That is where black people attained enlightenment. So Sud means south. So our ancestors left the writings on the wall. Now they call south, right now they say Sudan is in North Africa or Egypt is in North Africa, but Sudan is the south of Africa. To mean that South Africa is the north. So these are some of the things that, right now they call it South Africa. South Africa, they never used to call it South Africa. South Africa used to be the house of tar, which is the tropic of Cancer. But we will get into that as we go. Yes, Sud is south. So Sudan, like Kenyan. Sudan. And that was the area, that was the name that was used to refer the area called Sahel.
Same to you.
Which is the north of Africa. So these are some of the things that we will uncover as we go. When you uncover them on your own personal, awareness, it helps. Some people think that these things are useless. When you know that Sudan is south, it helps even with spiritual work. So can you give us the real examples? Can you give us real world examples of planting? So like let's say for example, my dear, Dillon forever. So what is an example of planting? For example, we call it mood board or vision board. Every year you're supposed to have a visual of what you want to become, of who you want to become. By the end of the year, who do you want to become? After you've seen who you want to become now, how, what are the steps? And January is giving you this answer. January automatically, the weather in January, the astrological placements in January is already telling you the things that you're supposed, the seeds that you should be planting from authenticity. January is already giving you knowledge. Like for example, let's take for example me. By the end of December, I want to achieve certain things. So right now in January, I'm getting thoughts. I will not tell you the things I want to achieve. Right now in January, already January is telling me how, the processes in which I can achieve these things. The processes in which I can achieve these things. So maybe you want to start dressing differently to embrace the Sagittarius house. Or maybe, you want to love yourself, or you want to do certain things in this year. You are not supposed to do that in January. You are not supposed to start doing it in January. January, you're supposed to prepare seeds of how you're going to now start being those things from March going onwards. Is when you put them into action. Am I making sense? It's like a vision board. It's like a mood board for the year. It is in January and February that you create that particular mood board. Mood board, if you want to be a black luxury individual, create the mood board of black luxury. If you want to be a baddie, create a mood board of a baddie in January. If you want to be financially independent, create a mood board of financial independence in January. And January automatically comes with the atmosphere to help you see some of the things that you can do starting from March. So you move slowly. The way your calendar is set up is it makes you move so quickly in life. You feel like you're behind. No, in January you are not even supposed to be taking any action. Like I told you, in January is a short harvest season. It is a very short harvest. You are not even supposed to be doing too much in January. Prepare to step into the person you want to become by March. Exactly. How do you want your authenticity to become? What do you want to be authentic about? Which direction do you want to move? You start preparing that in January and February. That is the atmosphere. In January and February, if you are somebody who you already want to start planting in January and February, the sun is not yet born. We don't have spring yet. Nothing grows. Nothing grows during this particular point in time. So if you planting anything will waste your time. So somebody like me, for example, I'm not even moving so fast with the subscribers. You see the way I'm always like pushing subscription. But January and February, I'm just relaxing. January and February, I'm not even pushing subscription as much. You will see me pushing for subscription now from March. That's when now, and it will go together. Right now, even if I'll push for subscription, nothing will happen. Not much changes will occur, and I will end up using too much energy. But then from March, you can also observe it will be a little bit more easy. It will be a little bit more easy. So just that is an example that I've given you. Yeah. So I hope that that is making sense to people. So January and February, knowing yourself, believing in yourself, and then March, you enter into authenticity. You start creation. Remember, Aset is the mother of creation. Now, so you start pushing with force towards your own creation. If it is time for you to now start putting posters outside, to direct people directly into your business, you start now working towards grounding the person you wanted to become. Are we together, my people? Are we together? I hope we're together up to that particular point. So today's topic is very interesting. And I'm just going to start immediately. Sin, the opposite of sex. So the basic definition of sin. And I will try and say coitus, so that, they don't remove me. Because, these people, they like to remove. So if I say coitus, or if I say intercourse, maybe I should use intercourse. Then you know what I mean. So sin, the opposite of sex. We're going to start. Basic definition of sin. Rebellion against God. What is rebellion against God? It is rebellion against yourself. A lot of people, when they are told sin is rebellion against God, they start to think, where is God? Am I rebelling? It is rebellion against yourself. Anytime you do something you do not want to do, anytime you place yourself in places you don't enjoy being, know that you're sinning. So sin, the basic definition, we have basic definition and then we have complex definition. So the basic definition is that sin is rebellion against yourself. I don't even want to put God anymore. Sin is rebellion against yourself. So now the in-depth definition of sin, what is it? I've ever made a post about it. Sin is to miss the mark. To sin is to miss the mark. So the basic definition of missing the mark, what is to miss the mark? Associated, what mark are we talking about? This mark is associated with archery. Archery? The arrow, pointing the arrow to hit that mark, pointing the arrow to hit that mark. That is where the metaphor is coming from. So it is associated with archery, where an archer would fail to hit its target. This is symbolism for failure to listen to the inner voice that guides every individual soul path through intuition, instinct, and gut feeling. Archery, if you're somebody who you've ever tried that archery thing or pointing an arrow to hit an animal, it goes back to your own inner world being calm. Your communication with your inner world is what makes you a good archer. It's what makes you a good targeter. It's what makes you somebody who can hit the target easily. So listen, to miss the mark is to disrespect your own intuition. Because even that hitting that is usually, it's dependent a lot on intuition. Connecting with a tool to stay in connection with one is what makes you hit that particular point very easily. So to miss the mark is to put yourself in situations that go against your own authenticity. To miss the mark is to allow outsiders to make decisions for you without prioritizing you. Anytime you allow outsiders, and especially people who are gifted tend to have imposter syndrome. Kill imposter syndrome. There is no time for imposter syndrome in 2025. Nobody cares whether you were born to a poor mother or poor parents or you come from the trenches. Kill imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome has no place in 2025 because it is imposter syndrome that allows you to let others make decisions for you without prioritizing you. And that is sin. Anytime You let others make decisions for you without prioritizing you. You are sinning, and especially the work of influencing, the work of talent, the work of content creators. A lot of content creators miss marks because they allow themselves to be used by entities. Some people are content creators in here. They have a page. It is their face on that page. But behind them, they have people calling themselves managers. They have people calling themselves, I don't know, support, cheerleaders, advisors, nani. And all these people, they are using your own star to empower themselves. They are using you. There are certain people who they are content creators. They get deals. They get paid 10 million. But out of this 10 million, it's not theirs. Maybe out of this 10 million, they're only getting 2 million or even 500K. All that money is going to people who are behind them, people who are attaching themselves to them. That is missing a man. Always allowing people to use you, to make decisions for you without prioritizing you. That is sin. There's nothing humble about it. Now, yes, it is like killing your own buffalo. Thank you very much. Now, to miss the mark is to move away from self-desire when creating anything. Anytime you create and self-desire has thought, Scorpio energy is not in the picture, you're wasting your time. My babies, anytime you're creating, ask yourself, is self-desire in the picture? Is self-desire in the picture, or you're feeling tired? Is self-desire in the picture, or you're dragging, you're forcing yourself to engage? Is self-desire in the picture? Because the moment the self-desire in the picture, it is only self-desire that is the portal of creation. There's not a portal of creation. Any creation must pass through self-desire. If it is not passing through self-desire, it is demonic, it is sin. So get into it. To miss the mark is to move towards disease and away from ease. Always follow the path of least resistance. Don't try proving yourself, especially as a black woman. People will always expect you to carry heavy loads, to do twice as much. Get out of it. We left slavery in September. You don't do too much. You don't move in dis-ease. Move towards ease. That is what creation is all about. If you are moving away from ease and into dis-ease because you want to be seen as a tough woman, you want to be seen as somebody who is responsible, you want to be seen as somebody who is, I don't know what, praises. People pleasing. You are missing the mark. To miss the mark is to follow others before you follow yourself. Maintain your autonomy. This is what I'm telling you, even in here as Surinyarkano students, maintain your autonomy. Even in those WhatsApp groups, maintain your autonomy. Even in the people that you are interacting with, maintain your autonomy. Always follow yourself first before you even follow Surinyarkano. Listen to you first before you even come listening to me. And then after you listen to yourself, now you come to me as a marking scheme. Is what I'm saying, marry what you already told yourself. If it is not marry, get out. Guys, you don't have to fight. You don't even have to stay and argue that, oh my God, we are no. Listen to yourself first and then move towards people who resonate with that voice of you listening to yourself. And anybody who's moving away from it, move away from them. And it's as simple as that. You're not here to please anyone, not even me. Not even me. So follow yourself first, and then if you find out that the things I'm doing resonate with you, then follow me. But if you follow yourself and then you find that the things I'm doing don't resonate with you, pop up. The world has 8 billion people. Go somewhere else. Your people are somewhere else, not here. So retain your autonomy, because failure to do so is sin. To miss the mark is to deviate from the normal structural and functional structure of your soul. To miss the mark is to deviate or move away from the normal structure and function of your own soul. When you move away from the normal structure and function,
we had good routines set.
of your own soul, you're missing the mark. So now, what is the spiritual? Thank you so much. So what is the spiritual definition of missing the mark? Now that is the physical definition. What is the spiritual definition? Spiritually, to sin is to miss the mark of creation, baby. There's the mark of creation. So now listen, spiritually, to sin is to miss the mark of of creation and instead aim at the mark of death or decreation. Whenever you're taking action, whenever you are explaining, whenever you are imagining, you are always supposed to aim at the mark of creation. You are aiming at creating. But anytime you miss the mark of creation and you aim at the mark of decreation or the mark of nothingness, you are missing the mark. Now, the mark of creation is the vagina. I want you to see it literally. Because there's a literal explanation. The writings are always on the wall. There's a literal explanation of sin on this particular planet. So, the mark of creation, spiritually to sin is to miss the mark of creation and instead aim at the mark of decreation.
You had a jacket this morning.
Or the mark of death.
Get your jacket.
The mark of creation is the vagina, the mark of death.
Take those off.
Or decreation.
Go get your jacket. Go quick, quick, quick.
There are people who
I know your pajamas warm, but you do have a jacket. She tried to come up. She's like, I don't need one. It's warm.
It's not. Like, there's actually like a cold one going on. Like, it's freezing. I really hope they're laying
one that
They
brings
should. Our temp is, well, I know my boys went
creation
-25.
into
If it's
the
above
planet and
-25,
into your own particular life. So I'll repeat, spiritually to sin is to miss the mark of creation.
way too crazy. Like,
Aim at the mark of death,
yeah,
the mark
like
of
they need something.
decreation.
Like, at least something going to the gym and like.
The mark of creation is the vagina and the mark of decreation is the anus. Literal explanation. Therefore, spiritually, your engagement into anything that takes away from you rather than pour life into you is sin. The anus takes away. The vagina pours it. The vagina gives you, the anus takes. So therefore, spiritually, your engagement into anything on this particular planet that takes away from you instead of pouring into you, sin. And let it sink in. Anytime you're engaging into anything that doesn't bring life into your surrounding and your environment and into your essence, you're sinning. So sin can be you hanging out with friends who are stagnant. Year in, year out, it is the same thing. Year in, year out, nothing new is coming into your life from these particular friendships. Year in, year out, instead of giving into your life, these friendships are taking away from you. They are taking away from you instead of giving. Like they are doing the anus job instead of doing the vagina job. The vagina gives, the anus takes. Now, do you want me to repeat? My back, yeah, exactly. Always keep your back door closed. Don't let Eve lie to you and cheat you into eating the apple. Because that was the very first sin. Eve making Adam a tool to eat the apple. Normalizing anal sex is the very cradle of sin. Because even when we leave spirituality aside, even logically, the anus has bacteria, the anus has pathogens, the anus has microbes. Aiming, putting your own divine authority and rulership into the anus already, that is already a sickness, disease manifestation. That's the very first, yes, uchafu, that is the very first step into sin. It is. You cannot argue. Like, even if you're an homosexual, gay man, you're coming to tell, stop discriminating. Now when reality hits, why do women have diseases so much from sexuality? Go research about it. They'll tell you that 99% of diseases that women have, they get them from the phallus, from the dick, from men. Why? Because 99% of men have been lied to eat the apple. A lot of men eat apples right now. That's why, as a woman, you stay away from, if you know that you're spiritually hygienic, the man that you engage with, you must make sure. This is story ya kubahatisha. As a woman, who will you cry to after you've contacted diseases that you don't know? Please. Watch the man you are engaging with. Yes, that is what the apple is all about. Watch the men that you are engaging with, because they're going to bring you diseases. These things were not left by our ancestors for nothing. There's repercussions. And already a lot of women have repercussions because of engaging with men who already shoved their phallus inside the decreation portal. It brings you disease to your doorstep. It is sin. Sin is disease. It is disease, and vagina is clean. Vagina is the cleanest entity on the planet. The biology will tell you that the eyes are the cleanest, but the vagina is the cleanest. The vagina is the cleanest. The patriarchy will never admit it, but the vagina is the cleanest. The vagina is the cleanest so much that there are 3 holes for a woman. Men have 2 holes, women have 3 holes. One for the decreation shit. The other hole is for urine, and the hole of urine does not mix with the hole of menses. Menstruals are very clean. The vagina is very clean. So much that the hole of urine does not mix. If in case you haven't read it, you know, this is biology. I was in biology school for 5 years. But maybe you are coming across this information for the first time. I'm telling you right now, as a woman, you must know that the urine hole is totally different and separate from the menses hole because of hygiene. God is the most hygienic of all. And vagina is self-cleansing and the most hygienic of all. I know some people, they might think that this is a bluff, but vagina is the most clean. It is the most clean. And if your vagina is not clean, you're disease. You're sinning. If your vagina is not clean, you're sinning. And you're allowing phallus that have been into anus to enter into your vagina. Self-disrespect. Don't allow it, girls. Girls, I don't know how much you're digmatized, but don't allow it. You will be treating STIs for the rest of your life. So as I was saying, spiritually to sin is to miss the mark of creation and instead aim at the mark of death and decreation. The mark of creation is the vagina. The mark of death and decreation is the anus. Therefore, spiritually, your engagement into anything that takes away from you rather than pour into you is sin. Missing the mark of creation, which is the vagina, and instead inserting the phallus into the mark of decreation or death, which is the anus, is the very root of sin. Somebody is talking about AIDS. AIDS is just the collapse of the 12 houses. And it comes from gay men. If you've read about the history of AIDS, you know that it is gay men that started it, because men sleep even with animals. Men insert their phallus into anything. And men that inserted their phallus into monkeys are the ones that started coming up with AIDS, which is a spiritual meaning for the collapse of the 12 houses. Go research it. AIDS came from men. It did not come from women. It is men that started HIV and AIDS. Now, sin as the opposite of intercourse. At the very center of sin, of sex, I mean. Let me read a little bit of. Yeah. At the very center of sex is self-desire. Do you know where Hathor is? You know, you are my student. I love you so much because you know what we're talking about. You know where Hathor is, right? You know where Hathor is? Scorpio energy.
I'm coming tomorrow, actually. What?
Yeah. Any sex,
Tomorrow.
any form of intercourse that does not involve Hathor is sin. Any form of intercourse that does not involve the self-desire is sin. Any form of, and I'll repeat this even 10 times. Any form of intercourse that does not involve self-desire is sin. Any form of intercourse that does not involve self-desire is sin. And I'll explain it further as we go. So now, at the very center of intercourse is self-desire. Hathor, the house of Scorpio, entering self-analysis. So why self-desire? Self-desire is a portal. Remember, self-desire is not a grounded place. It's a portal. It's a doorway. So self-desire is a doorway into self-analysis. Self-desire is a doorway into self-analysis. I repeat, self-desire is a doorway into self-analysis. And that's why women always say, oh, your dick almost reached my stomach. Oh, your dick is in my stomach. Because self-desire is a doorway to enter into self-analysis. Anything that goes through your self-desire is going to settle at your self-analysis, which is Ra. Now, self-analysis is a tomb. Remember, I've taught you before that a tomb is the mother of all, but a tomb inside our body is Ra. A tomb and Ra are one and the same thing. A tomb and Ra are one and the same thing. Just allow me to be vulgar, guys. Just allow me to be, because there's no other way to say this in a way that on the sore. No, we will just say it the way it is. So now Maat is your ovary. So thank you very much for saying. Maat is built inside Ra, but not Ra of everybody. Maat is only inside the Ra of women. Men do not have Maat. Men do not have Maat. Men do not have Maat. And that is the reason why a man must rely on a woman for self-analysis, for infinite self-analysis, because men do not have Maat. Men do not have ovaries. Their Ra is empty. Their Ra doesn't have a special device called Maat installed. So now Ra is a tomb. If you want to know the representation of a tomb in your body, it is Ra. Are you getting me? Because I want you to get these tiny things. These tiny things. Remember the story of creation. The story of creation starts from Ra, and then Ra gives birth to Shu, which is the TikTok CEO, Shu and Tefnut. So Ra is the mother of all. And who is Ra? The representation of Ra on our body is the stomach, Vago, the vagin, Vago energy. That is who Ra is. That's who Atum is. So listen, at the very center of sex is self-desire, penetrating self-analysis, entering into self-analysis. Self-desire entering into self-analysis, which is Ra, Atum, the house of Vago. The act of sexual intercourse is the spiritual entry of self-desire into self-analysis. The spiritual entry, are you comprehending it with your head? The act of sexual intercourse is self-desire entering into your self-analysis. So it means that new energy is coming. New energy is coming. You are going to analyze yourself after that. So always have that at the back of your mind. The act of sexual intercourse is the spiritual entry of self-desire into self-analysis in order to manifest, in order to increase, in order to reproduce a better and a higher version of your current timeline or current self. So anything that is entering into your self-desire should always be aimed at upgrading you. Upgrading you so that you reproduce either a higher version of yourself that can come in form of a car, it can come in form of a child, it can come in form of finances, it can come in form of a house, it can come in form of you just being physically more beautiful. So I'll repeat, the act of sexual intercourse is the spiritual entry of self-desire into self-analysis in order to multiply, in order to manifest a better and a higher version of your current timeline. So anytime your self-desire, anytime you're having sex, you're supposed to be upgrading. Baby, anytime you're having sex, you're supposed to be upgrading. If you are not upgrading, you have no business having that sex. Because what is it? Nia nini kama uzai. Ni ya kuzaa, sex ni ya kuzaa. If you are not upgrading, you have no business. If you're not going to manifest something, you have no business having that particular sex. Because if you do, you are going to skyrocket down rocket. Now listen, the act of sexual intercourse is aimed at resurrection of higher and better versions of yourself from Ra. Remember Ra is a tomb. Ra is the one that has everything. And the women now have ovaries inside Ra. So now women have every infinite. The future generation is inside your stomach. The past generation is inside your stomach. So anytime a phallus is entering you, it is supposed to be bringing those infinite versions of yourself to life. Remember, a tomb is infinite. Everyone, all of us will belong to a tomb. So anytime you're having sex, it's like you've gone into the market of a tomb. You are picking, like the same way you shop at a boutique. You're picking clothes. Oh, which one should I bring into this physical dimension? Which one? That's what happens. And that happens through self-analysis. I'm going to let it say. Is somebody floating? Do we have anybody floating? If you're watching us here for the first time, kindly subscribe. Do we have anybody floating? Are we all together? Are we moving together, my people? Zebibol. I used to date an Egyptian. I used to date an Egyptian who kept saying Zebibol. You know Zebibol. He kept telling me Zebibol. Zebibol. Are Zebibol together with me? That's the only thing I remember about them. Zebibol.
Okay, I don't know. Look bigger.
Is there Egyptian here? I think that's how Egyptians call the people. Zebibol. Anyway, those are memories. But anyway, let's continue. It is only when you reach Relax, baada tujafika hapo nitakuonyesha kila kitu. Relax. Guys, the beauty about me, I'm going to teach you everything on this topic. Keep the questions. By the time I'm done, if I've not touched your question, ask it. By the time we are done. If I've not answered your question, ask it. Because I'm going to tell you everything about this shit. Hii sex nataka kuambia kila kitu kuhusu. Kabla tuanze sasa kuingia now on the fans sasa doing things. So now let's continue. The act of sexual intercourse is aimed at resurrecting your ancestors that were the best. Ne? The act of sexual intercourse is aimed at resurrection of higher and better versions of yourself from Atum, from Ra. Sexual intercourse is only supposed to pump new self-desire into your self-analysis as a woman, so that new self-analysis can birth higher dimensions of you that are already infinitely present in Ma'at, your ovaries. So by the time the phallus is the sperms, they're going to Ma'at. They're going just to pick ancestors. But now some people, you sell your real estate cheap. So by the time that sperm is going, now the sperm, remember your ancestors inside you, they are very picky also. When you send them a sperm that is weakling, they're going to remove the most weakling to come and meet that sperm. Your ancestors are inside Ma'at, they're waiting. Yeah, they're waiting for Nala. They're saying, let's see the type of sperm that Nala is going to bring here. You bring a sperm that is a weakling, that is mediocre. Your ancestors are also there. They're saying, oh, bring that one that is the most mediocre to meet the man that they chose. Your ancestors are very smart. They'll never bring a real estate that is prime to meet a mediocre sperm. They will never. What you bring, they match it for you. Remember, all versions of you exist. The most mediocre exists and the most excellent exists. So if you want to fetch excellence from your Ma'at, from your ovaries, then you must make sure that the sperm is excellent. When you bring an excellent sperm, your ancestors will be like, hey, bring Mansa Musa. Bring the genetics of Mansa Musa. We've met someone that can match them. Bring the genetics of that, who is that, this king of the Zulus. That's how how it works. Hakuna kubahatisha. You know, there's no Kiswahili people. Hakuna kubahatisha ni nini kwa English? Where's bahatisha? Shaka Zulu, exactly. All your ancestors are stored inside a tomb, inside my heart. No guesswork, exactly. There's no guesswork. You bring mediocrity, your ancestors brings mediocrity to meet it. You bring excellence, your ancestors bring excellence to meet it. If you open your legs for a man because you have low self-esteem, your ancestors are going to unleash an ovary that has the lowest self-esteem to come meet it. Now you give back to mediocrity. But now I'm here to teach you so that you drive. Hey, ancestors ni wajuaji. Ancestors, they are not people pleaser. Ancestors, what you give is what you get. Ancestors, they only help those who help themselves. Ancestors, they meet you halfway. They will never do the entire work for you. And if you want to know how ancestors behave, look at the jungle. See the way animals behave in the jungle. Have you ever seen an animal? You know, human beings are people pleasers. Have you ever seen an animal that loves someone because they are people pleasing? That, oh, please love me because, you know, you pretend like, human beings can pretend to love you, but you can never pretend to love an animal in the jungle. The same way you can never pretend to love your ancestors. They know. If you want to know how ancestors behave, look at animals. Look at a butterfly. A butterfly will never land on somebody it has no business landing on. And image will never be in the background of somebody it has no business being in the background of. A hawk will never visit someone it has no business visiting. A lion will never embrace someone it has no business embracing. You don't have the totem kwenda. You don't have the totem kwenda. The animal will not people please. Exactly. So that energy, no people pleasing in the ancestral realm. Women, I want you to get this so much because women are the ones who like people pleasing. Pick me, pick me, pick me. You think you can go to the jungle and pick me your way? You cannot. Nobody will pick you. Utabaki hapo umelala kama maiti. Nobody will pick you in the jungle. And that is the same way with ancestral realm. There's no pick me energy. What you give is what you get, my friend. So now the act of sexual intercourse is aimed at resurrecting the higher and better versions of yourself from Ra. Please, when you're having sex, make sure you're bringing Mansamusi. When you're having sex, make sure you're bringing King Tut Ankamun, the Sudanese. The South Africans, bring Shaka Zulu. Some of you will bring people who we've never even known, people who will go nowhere. Because also always remember that when you bring a descendant who ancestors have endorsed, their life will be very easy. Their life will be very easy. They might come from the trenches. They might come from poverty, but the ancestors will pave their way and they will shoot to the sky in no time. Some of them will shoot at 8 years old. Some of them will shoot even before they hit their teenage years. That's how you know that the ancestors approved. You are bringing people with substance who are going to change the world and who are going to make sure that your essence is uplifted. Women, you are the real estate agents. Be careful, please, and be intentional. Sexual intercourse is only supposed to pump new self-desire into your self-analysis as a woman, so that new self-analysis can birth higher dimensions of you that are already infinitely present in man. A woman, you are carrying the entire world inside your stomach. The entire world, your entire lineage is inside your stomach, as Maat, inside your ovary. Your job is to pick one after another, bring them into the physical. One after another, bring them into the physical after you've been convinced that their space is here by the man you are opening your legs for. So now, while sex is the new, I'm not talking about lesbian sex, by the way, for now, or homosexuals. I'm just talking about the sex between a man and a woman, mostly. Those other ones, we will talk with them. I'll talk about it to people who it is applying to. But for now, I'm talking about male and female type of sex. Now, while sex is the new self-desire entry, into your self-analysis, sin is the opposite. Now sin makes unwantedness enter into your self-desire, into your self-analysis. Sin is the unwantedness, which is the opposite of self-desire, entry into your self-analysis. Guys, when you have sex with someone and then after that sex you start misunderstanding yourself, you start having low self-esteem, you start second-guessing everything, you are sinning. You did not have sex. That was sin. Because remember, there's sex, which is self-desire is involved, and then there is sin, which is unwantedness is involved. For example, people who go for other people to shit in their mouths as a form of sex, to pay them afterwards. That is a ritual to butcher your self-analysis, Because after you've had somebody's shit inside your mouth, self-analysis is going to come knocking at your door that, hey, let's talk about that thing that you did. Let's talk about it.
Some of the girls like to
Let's talk about that thing that you did. It is demonic. And as you continue to misunderstand yourself, you are empowering the person that they did that to you. It's a ritual. People do this. People do this knowingly. Demonic people, they do this. And this is why I'm teaching you this. And I'm going to teach you until you become impossible to penetrate. Until you become impossible to become a victim, a venal. Remember when I was teaching you guys about sexually transmitted diseases? I told you sexually transmitted diseases are called venari. Hunting. Hunters. It is hunter. People preying on you. That is what sin is all about. Sin is the act of preying on other people in order for you to gain power over them. Now let's continue. Sexual intercourse is only supposed to pump new. No. While sex is the new self-desire entry into your self-analysis, sin is the unwantedness, which is the opposite of self-desire, entry into your self-analysis or your self-balance, leading to manifestation of demonic versions of yourself, or leading to no creation at all. Leading to the manifestations of demonic versions of yourself, or leading to no creations at all. Sin is aimed at throwing off your self-analysis, so you start to misunderstand yourself during analysis. Sin is the entry of values into Sobek territory to control. Sin is the entry of the values into your anus, or rather Sobek territory, instead of your vagina, which is Hathor territory. Now, there's sin, and then there is sex. They have word X and in them, of which I'm going to elaborate as we continue. But then there is this form of sexual intercourse that is called fingering. There are a lot of different sexual intercourse. There is, head, giving head. There is fingering. There is a lot. But today I want to talk to you about to define fingering also, so that you see what fingering is. Especially when you're being fingered by somebody else. There is you fingering yourself, and then there is you being fingered by somebody else. So fingering is the act of external thoughts entering your self-desire. External, yes, there's blowjob. Those ones I will talk about them in OnlyFans, but for now let me introduce fingering to you. Fingering is the act of external thoughts from someone. Whose fingers are entering you, it is their thoughts entering into your self-desire. Can you see? Their thoughts, what they think of you, is entering into your self-desire, ready to be analyzed by you. So now, if someone's thoughts of you are negative to you, if someone's thoughts of you are negative to you and your self-desire, then their fingering of you will also be harmful and irritant to your vagina. But then if someone's thoughts of you are positive and empowering to your self-desire, then their fingers will be pleasureful and orgasmic to your vagina. There's no two way about it. The writings, they stay on the walls. If somebody is entering their fingers into your vagina, I want you to know that there's nothing like, oh, they know how to finger, or they don't know how to finger. There's nothing like that. It's all about thoughts. If their thoughts are empowering to your self-desire, their fingers are going to feel very pleasureful in your vagina, whether they know how to finger or not. Now, if their thoughts are terrible against your self-desire, then their fingers are going to butcher your vagina. It's going to feel very irritating. There's no two way about it, guys. There's no two way about it. If somebody thoughts of you, whenever they think of you, their thoughts are empowering to your self-desire. You know, maybe they're thinking that, oh, they have such beautiful lips. Oh my God, I really love. If somebody really, truly loves you, and they think about you in a nice way, their fingers, the moment even their finger touch your vagina like this, even before they do anything, if that finger just lands on your vagina, you're going to feel so much pleasure because their thoughts are empowering your self-desire. But if their thoughts are butchering, they're always thinking, oh, look at how ugly they are, I don't like them. The moment their fingers land on your vagina, you're going to feel irritated. It is not, there's no two way about it. It is not a coincidence. It is what it is. It is what it is. So people, a lot of people who are not lesbian, because lesbians, we know about this. Okay, some lesbians know, some people don't. But yes, there's no guesswork. But then, people who are straight, you might not know. But today I want you to start observing. I want you to start observing the people you are engaging in sex with. If someone's fingers feel irritating to your vagina, know that the way they think of you is terrible. You don't have to ask people that, hey, what do you think of me? What do you think of me? Just have their hand on your vagina. And then you will know what they think of you. It is in a match, it matches totally. And if you think otherwise, start observing from today. And please, lesbians, in the comment section, never enter your fingers into another woman's vagina when you have nails on. It is disrespect. It is you showing that you don't care about their self-desire. Because anytime you enter your fingers when they are long into someone's vagina, you're going to butcher their vagina. Vagina is very fragile. Any slight toughness on the vagina, it will start to bleed. So if somebody fingers you so much that blood is coming out, that is what they are doing to your self-desire. They are scratching your self-desire like this. They are scratching your self-desire, but they'll never admit. People will never admit, and some people, they don't even know. Maybe somebody is dating you for money. They don't want you to find out. Every time they think about you, you know, when us women, we know. If you've ever been with someone for money and you don't like them, you don't even want them to find out you don't like them. But you can stay aware. Let nobody lie to you. If somebody is entering their fingers into you, maybe because you give them money and they want to pretend like they love you, that finger is going to tell you what their thoughts are about your self-desire. You don't even need to go any other place. You will know by that, okay? Are we together up to that particular point? Start observing. Start observing. If somebody truly likes you and the way they think of you is very desirable and they get on you when they think of you, even them just placing their hand on your vagina like this, just like this, they don't even have to do anything. They don't have to start doing this. No, they'll just place it like this. You will start like, oh my God, you'll feel good. You'll feel loved because their thoughts are loving you. So something people don't always know about sex is intrinsic. Everybody knows how to fuck. Everyone. But you will never know you know how to fuck if you're fucking with people you don't like. Everybody knows how to fuck because we all come from ancestors who fucked for infinite times. Fucking it's like eating. It's like eating. The way children are born, you don't need to teach a child that, hey, eat like this. No. A child, as long as they are aware, they'll just start eating. They'll just start eating. That is exactly how sex is too. Never look at yourself and say, I don't know how to have sex. No, you're just having sex with the wrong people. Because as long as you have sex with the people who are aligned with you, there are versions of themselves. There are infinite versions of themselves that recognize you. And that recognition is all you need. You never find animals telling each other that, oh, let us now teach you. You'll never find the bonobos or the monkeys teaching each other that, hey, now let me teach you how to have sex. Nobody needs to be taught. That shit is intrinsic. But human beings, they mess up because they have sex without authenticity. They have sex without self-desire. And that will fuck you up. You will think that you don't know how to have sex, but the truth is you are having sex with people who cannot ignite the fire in you because you have no business having sex with them. So now, sex has the word X because it involves energy moving from you outwards. Now, this part I want you to listen. This part I want you to listen properly. Ladies, now we start with finger and not tennis. This part I want you to listen properly. Yes, ladies, if you have a man and you want to know if this man thinks of you, what this man thinks of you, don't go through his phone. Have his fingers on your vagina and judge. A woman, if you have another woman who you like and you want to know what they think of you, don't go through their phone, don't ask them, they will lie. Have their fingers on your vagina and you will know the untold truths, their thoughts inside your self-desire will tell you everything. So now sex has the word X because it involves energy moving from you outwards. Sex has the word X because it involves energy generated from your own intrinsic pleasure moving outwards to create a third party. Yeah. You're gonna listen, you're gonna get this. Because I know a lot of people, they don't know about sex being the opposite of sin. So from today you will know it and go teach other people too. Go teach other people too. One thing about me, when you hear things from me, just go tell them to other people. Just go tell them as if it is your own information because see, you are paying. You are paying me to tell you this thing. So this is your information. If there's an exchange. So after I've taught you this, you can go teach somebody else and you can even pretend it is your own information. I don't care, guys. One thing about me is as long as if you paid school fees, you can go use the information in whichever way you want. You'll never find engineers being told in university that, well, don't go becoming an engineer there without giving the lecturers credit. No. Once you've paid school fees, this information is yours now. And that's why I always say, when you want me to return your money, you will have to return my information. I'm kidding. Yeah, I'm kidding. But it's the truth. There's an exchange happening here. There's an exchange happening here. Yeah, you can give credit, you can, whichever. Just do you. Do you. It depends on the people you are interacting with. It depends on the people you are interacting with, my baby. Give credit or not, I don't care. Me, as long as you use the information, as long as it is valuable, that's all. Alright, you will never find me tracking you and being all weird. No. Now, sex has the word X because it involves energy moving from you outwards. Sex has the word X because it involves energy generated from your own intrinsic pleasure moving outwards to create a third party. There's a third party that must be created when sex is happening. A third party entity must be created when sex is happening. That's how you know it is sex. And I'm going to explain. Now, sex has the word X in it because the angelic Kundalini energy, Kundalini is snake energy. Sex has the word X in it because sex is the angelic Kundalini energy expressed outwards to expand the self-analysis of the individuals engaging. So listen, what have I just talked about? When you're having sex, you start with two energies. Let me turn this so that I can explain it proper. Flip the camera into mirror image. When you're having sexual intercourse, you start with the two energies. Energy one, energy two. This is you and this is your partner. This is how it starts. Sex as the word X because it involves Kundalini energy being expressed outwards from your own pleasure. When you're having sex with someone, some people, when they're in that state, they keep thinking, oh my God, is my partner feeling good? Is my partner feeling? Never. If you are somebody who you are having sex with somebody and you keep asking yourself, are they feeling good? Are they feeling good? You are missing the mark. This is how sex is supposed to be happening. You get into union with somebody you start to feel your own self. You have no business whether they're feeling themselves or not. That's not your business. And if you're not feeling yourself, get out. Stop the action and get out. You need to, yes, Obam energy, Lady Vikings, thank you very much. You need to stay in your own divine feminine energy and they stay in their own energy. You need to feel pleasure from inside. You generate pleasure from inside in relation to them. This person is making you horny. So now you generate pleasure. Maybe when you look at their eyes, you're getting horny. Yes, that's good. When you're kissing them, it is all about how you feel. You generate that fire inside. And then they also generate that fire inside. So that is why it starts with this. These two energies. The first one, energy one, feeling themselves in response to the moment created from intrinsic pleasure. And then energy two, feeling themselves in response to the moment created from their own intrinsic pleasure. So when you're having sex with someone, they're supposed to feel themselves over here and you're also feeling yourself over here. This is why I'm saying sex without self-desire is fucked up. It is demonic. You're supposed to be having you feeling yourself over here, them feeling themselves over here. Now after you feel yourself and then they are feeling themselves, automatically it is going to create a third entity. It is going to form a third entity over here. So now listen, self-pleasure moving towards your partner. Your own self-pleasure moving towards your partner's own self-pleasure moving towards you. And then in the middle, they meet to create a third entity. When you create a third entity, now you are external. You are no longer in, you are external. Now, this third entity is accessing Ra. You are accessing space. You are accessing space in this particular third entity. And then a third entity is born from the meetup of the two self-pleasure, creating an infinite timeline of Ra. So this is you feel yourself. You're self-desiring. Your partner is self-desiring towards you. Your partner is self-desiring towards you. You are self-desiring towards them. The meetup of those two energies is what is going to create a third entity. And then you join into this third entity. Now when you join into this third entity, it is space. You are no longer here. You are no longer on the planet. You are outside in space. When you allow yourself to unite, you get out of the planet. Now you are in space. Now you are in the realm of a two. You are now in the realm of self-analysis, controlled by intuition. Joint nakedness. It creates a joint nakedness. And then, now what happens at the joint nakedness? The two energies, which is energy one and energy two, then become one in space, making energy one, energy two, and the entire atom to be joined into one. This joint union can last for as long as the two energies, energy one and energy two, allow themselves to stay in nakedness and explore space creatively. So up to that particular point, now, in a throne, some of you fuck someone and you're seeing yourself as a powerful being. Now that powerful being that you're seeing that is capable of reaching those heights of orgasm is supposed to be planted into the physical reality. To mean, now okay, the feelings of self-desire generated from this intimacy is supposed to be grounded into reality. To mean that the version of yourself you tap into during this process of intimacy is supposed to be planted into your reality through climax, or rather orgasm, in form of either a pregnancy or a manifestation. I'll repeat that. The feelings of self-desire generated from this entire process is supposed to be grounded into reality. To mean that the version of yourself you tap into during the process of this intimacy is supposed to be planted into your reality through climax, or rather orgasm, in form of either a pregnancy or a manifestation. So now what is an orgasm? An orgasm is the bell that officially marks the birth of spirit into physical. Every time you have an orgasm, know that that's just a bell ringing from heaven. What?
You want to see Maya? So then be nice, okay? Come on.
A lot of your
Yes, okay, don't worry.
that's what Capricorn energy does, climbing the mountain of life. Oh shoot. Oh, somebody's saying musician. So up to that point, have you seen what sex is? Know that there must be a third entity created. The union between you and that person must create a third entity. That is what allows a tomb to now take you guys into space. And during that moment when you are in space, you're not supposed to be, you are only supposed to be intuitively guided to think about the things that are being brought to you in that moment. Some people, they like control. So when they are in a tomb, they're controlling, they want to control, oh, yo, let's do this, oh, I want to show you my monkey business, oh, let me turn you this up and down. No, your ancestors already know the styles that are best for you. And if you let yourself be intuitively guided in that attuned moment, all styles will come by themselves. It doesn't have to be awkward that now we are now stopping, now now we don't know what to do. Can I manifest a wealthy? Yes! Honor, Serena. And if you want to manifest a wealthy lifestyle, get with someone who makes you feel like you are wealthy. Get with someone who makes you feel like you're wealthy. When they make you, when their presence in your life gives you the self-desire of wealth, and then you engage, you're going to birth that self that you feel. It is meant, you have to guide into the direction that you want. What do you want to manifest? That is, when you're starting, listen, and this is the reason why I'm telling you, don't go having sex with people because of desperation. Have sex with people due to intention. Maybe you look at someone, they are rich, and you are poor. I want to fuck the ones that envy. I want to fuck the ones that envy. I want to fuck the ones that envy. So maybe you are poverty, you come from the trenches, and you're attracted to somebody who is rich. But you are not rich. You can birth a version of you that is rich to match them during sexual intercourse. So this is why I'm always telling you, don't just go having sex. Don't just go having sex with anybody thinking that, oh, let me dig the riches out of this boy from the trenches. There's no point. You can never guess your way through it. You cannot go and fuck somebody who's from the trenches and then you manifest a wealthy version of you. That's why prostitution is important. You have to look fast. You cannot milk a stone.
Hey, you need to try
yes, you can do everything. Like if I feel like your Heka energy is requiring you, there's a way you can insert it there, then fine.
Laura's gonna go next.
But just know that
Second
the
vote.
partnering is important. This is why the birds are always there to tell you the partnering is important. The female birds. Yes, you cannot milk a stone. You cannot go to Madare and then fuck a boy and manifest a loving lifestyle. That one, you are
Chest back on the board.
that is not the solution.
Forward for your front hamstring, okay? Abby.
If you want to manifest wealth, get with energy that is wealth. If you want to manifest talent, get with an energy that is talent. If you want to manifest spirituality, get with an energy that is spirituality. You cannot go getting into with an energy that is spiritually colonized. I'm Christian that is spiritually colonized, and then you want to manifest spirituality out of them. No, like partnering is important. Are you getting partnering is important? This is why the birds, they don't joke with partnering. Be like the birds. Especially women, be like the birds. Don't joke with partnering. Partner with people that have things that you want to manifest. Even energetically. Even just energetically. You might be someone like, let me give you an example. example, a very simple example. You might be somebody who is very dirty because you were born in poverty. You know, poverty is dirt. Cleanliness is next to godliness and it's next to riches. Poverty is next to dirtiness. And it is next to demonicness. So you might have been born from poverty and you carried all that demonicness with you, and now maybe you're rich, but that poverty mentality has not yet left you. Then you can get with somebody who is riches, who was born in riches, or has already harnessed their riches energy. They will transfer it to you. You manifest it and then they will transfer it to you. You also don't go stealing. Just be honest with people. Tell them, girl, this is the energy I want. Like, this is the energy because most of the time, if somebody comes to me and I'm feeling them, and they tell me that, oh, by the way, I know you have spiritual energy so much, I want some. I will give it to you, knowingly. Than you coming behind my back, wanting to steal. Some ancestors, they don't open doors if you don't knock. Only if you knock will the door be opened for you. Only if you knock will the door be open for you. Nani umekuja late jamani. Atieno, sasa saizi mi kichwa yangu iko already somewhere else. My mind is already occupied with another girl. And when my mind is occupied with a girl, it's usually so hard for me to multitask. But anyway, maybe someday, we don't know the future. Maybe someday. Anyway, let me get into the scene. Now, in comparison, I want to compare these two for you. I want to compare these two for you and tell you what happens. So, you've already seen me explain sex, right? So now let me explain how sin happens. If you've ever been robbed sexually, I'm going to tell you today by this explanation. If you've ever engaged in a sexual experience that drained your energy, I'm going to tell you how it happens today. Can we have the two papers as study material? Yes, I'm going to put them for you to screenshot. But let me get into sin. Now, sin has the word in because it involves, so let me compare the two. Let me compare the two. Atieno, let me compare the two. So sex has the word X because it involves energy moving from you outwards. While sin has the word in because it involves foreign energy moving from outside into you. Ona, listen to know if you're having a demonic sexual intercourse or you're having an angelic sexual intercourse. So angelic sexual intercourse has the word X in it because it involves energy moving . Already something is being injected into you. Now listen, sin thrives among the timid. You must have a receptor for sin in order for sin to have a space in you. So this type of sex, it thrives among the timid, it thrives among the people pleasers, it thrives among the ones with low self-esteem and the ones with zero confidence. They are afraid to generate. People who are afraid to generate, so they want to receive instead. During sex, you're supposed to be generating. I'm generating, you are generating. I channel my generation to you, you channel your generation to me. They form a third entity. We enter, we create. But now sin is, I have nothing to generate. I'm waiting for something to come into me. Sin thrives among the timid, among the people pleasers, among the people with low self-esteem, and among the people with zero self-confidence. Sin, before I go there, because in order for you to feel self-pleasure, you must be very confident. In order for you to feel self-pleasure, you must not be a timid individual. You must be somebody who is very free, sexually free. In order for you to be able to feel someone without fear. Now, sin has the word in because it involves energy from third party, which is a demonic entity entering you through your partner because you have reception due to your timidness, due to your people pleasing, due to your low self-esteem, and due to your zero confidence. Sin has the word in it because sin is the demonic kundalini energy expressed inwards from the outside to attack your own self-analysis and to make your own ra demonic to you so you can be controlled. Sin only happens to control, to enhance control by one party. Now, how does it happen? Listen. It starts with the demonic energy. Sin starts at number 1. Look at sex. Sex is starting with 2. Sin is starting with an energy that is already present. Now, what is this particular demonic kundalini energy? This energy is, let me change it so that you guys can see properly. So now see, this is demonic kundalini energy, already prepared through playing, through the venari, through hunting, okay? Waiting to be injected into your digestive system, into your self-analysis, if you prove to have reception. So listen, sin starts with a third party that is foreign to you. And this third party has already been prepared through hunting. They hunt you. Like for example, let's say mama.com is rich and me I'm poor. This happens in our society, especially women and men. Women target men who are rich. They don't care whether this man is looking good or not. They don't care whether they are attracted sexually to this man or not. As long as the man is rich, then it's already a target. So sin, sex that is sin, it starts with targeting. Somebody targeting you in the venari process. It's like a lion hunting a gazelle. Now, after this person has targeted you, if you have reception, remember, somebody can target you and you don't have reception. But if somebody targets you and you have reception for their shenanigans, for their plans, then you go to the second part. The second part is reception energy. What is reception energy? Timidness, people pleasing, low self-esteem, zero confidence, ignorance, alcohol, naivety. These things, there are many others, but these things are the things that can make you, especially when you're drunk, even when you are under the influence of alcohol, it makes you a very easy target. These are the energies that open the door to unify you with the person hunting you. So remember, already one person has an upper hand, and you allow them in because of the shortcomings that you have against yourself. Now, these particular shortcomings that you have against yourself unites you. These are the things that unites you, and then you end up splitting into 3. There's no union in sin. Sin leads to splitting. Now, after you've had sex with this particular person, you've allowed them into you. These are the results. Hunter, the hunted, and then the reception entry. So now the hunter will end up having complete control of the hunted's self-analysis and self-design. If somebody targets you with demonic energy, you give reception, they are going to have complete control of you and your self-analysis plus your self-design. How does this usually happen? You usually find some people, after you have sex with them, now they can control you. Maybe you had sex with them and maybe your mouth was smelling or something like that, and then they start holding it against you. Now they are restricting your self-desire because you have low self-esteem. Or maybe, maybe something just happened. Maybe you did not even know what to do and they did not know what to do too. But because you had low self-esteem, now they'll start saying, oh, they're so bad in bed. They're so terrible in bed. All of that geared towards killing your own self-desire and controlling you by the hunter. The hunter might be somebody who doesn't even know how to have sex too. They might be somebody who their mouth is smelling too. But because they hunted you, during the sexual intercourse, all they're doing is looking for your shortcomings, looking for your insecurities. When they are engaging with you, you don't go to space to create. No, then they are observing you to see okay, what are their self-esteem issues? Okay, they look at how you are engaging. They are observing you the entire time to see your shortcomings so that they can hold it against you. And then the hunted leaves the situation feeling unsure, feeling in response to the moment created with an upside down self-analysis and self-design. So you engage with someone because of timidness, people pleasing, low self-esteem, zero confidence, ignorance, alcohol, or naivety. You end up leaving the situation feeling very unsure, feeling very insecure, feeling like and they're the ones who are projecting that to you. And then there is the reception energy, which will always be there. This is the energy that is allowing this guy to control this woman, or this one to control this, or this woman to control this guy, or this guy to control. This is the energy. Now a darkness will always be between you two. And what is this darkness made of? The reception entry becomes that shadow that reverses the self-analysis and the self-desire of the hunted, while validating and giving control and power to the hunter. So when you have sex that does not involve self-desire, maybe you had sex because you are of influence of alcohol, and by the way, let me tell you, alcohol doesn't give true self-desire. So when you're having sex under the influence of alcohol, know that self-desire is absent. Timidness, self-desire is absent. People-pleasing, self-desire is absent. Low self-esteem, self-desire is absent. Zero confidence, self-desire is absent. Ignorance, naivety, self-desire is absent. So when your self-desire is absent, there is no fire that is being created. So you are here to please this person who has hunted you, and they know that you are doing everything to please them because you don't have the self-desire. It is already, they know, these people, they know when they're hunting. The hunting process, the demonic, they know when they're hunting pure and innocent souls. So at the end of the day, you end up creating three energies. You don't become one, you become three. The person you fucked, the shadow you created, and you. And then the person in fact uses this shadow to control you and get everything out of you. So maybe you are rich and they are poor. They use this shadow to get money out of you. Maybe they have low self-esteem and you are a star. They use this energy to get everything out of you, to siphon out of you. Maybe you are successful and then they are a failure. They use this shadow to control you and to see you in an opposite, to make you see yourself as opposite of what you truly are. Are we together with my people? Those who want to take screenshot. I hope it's visible, bro. So that is the demonic energy flow. And this is the angelic energy flow of sex. At least, are we together somewhere, babies? My baby, I like calling you my babies. Please allow me, even if you are older than me, don't mind. I like it. It feels good. You know, I like it. Yeah, so that's how it happens. This is when you have sex with someone and then you start feeling, it is not you. It is your self-analysis turned upside down. They turned your self-analysis upside down. So in order for you to walk out of that, please kindly just be stubborn and, you know, call your power back. Because sin takes your power while sex gives you power. So if you've ever engaged in sexual intercourse that took your power away, get out. If you've ever involved in sex that gave you power, get in. I don't want you guys to be victims. I don't want you guys to be victims. Me, I'm here to empower. Even when I'm on OnlyFans, I want to empower you guys. Me, I'm not here to make you victims of circumstances. I want you to be empowered so that even when you're going to have sex with someone, let's all be adult, be mature, and know that, hey, this is what we're doing. Let's do it. You know, don't go into having sex when you're a victim, with victim mentality, because you're going to leave some parts of yourself there and your self-analysis will be turned upside down. and you start chasing that person. When your self-analysis is turned upside down, you now start chasing them. You start chasing them. And sometimes you might even think that, oh, maybe I'm chasing them because their sex is good. No. You are chasing them because they are power playing using the shadows that you have. They are power playing using the shadows that they have. So sex ends in union with Ra from both parties involved, while sin ends in creation of a third party that separates the hunted victim from Ra, their own true self-analysis. Yeah, call your power back, baby. Call your power back. The beauty is you can always reverse any spiritual attack. That's the beauty of it. Call your power back. And please, when you're getting into sex, don't go with low self-esteem. On a work on your esteem. You see this reception empties that I talked about. Don't have sex when you're timid. It's okay. You can wait. You can abstain for a while. Don't have sex when you're a people pleaser. Don't have sex with somebody you want to people please. No. Don't have sex when you have low self-esteem. Don't have sex when you have zero confidence. Don't have sex when you are ignorant. Don't have sex when you're under the influence of alcohol. And don't have sex when you're naive. Utachotwa ushangai. Utachotwa ushangai. Have sex when you're present, confident, having a high self-esteem. You know. Go have sex knowing that, I want to have this. If it is work, fine and good. Nitatoka niwachane nayo. If it is good, well and good. Nimetoboa. But don't go having sex like, oh my God, will I be good enough for them? Oh my God, will they like the way I'm having sex? Oh my God, will they enjoy? Don't. If that is the mentality that you're coming to have sex with someone with, pause and work on yourself first. You're only supposed to go having sex saying that, hey, tuende nalo, liwe liwalo, whatever will be created, mi niko, na hakuna mtu atanikalia. Venye itatoka ndo venye itatoka. Usiende hapo ukibeg hapo ukiko, please pick me. Don't do that, my friend. Don't do that. Don't do that. So that is the end of that particular sex session. So now I want to get into, and I'm so glad that they have not removed me today for talking too much tech. So now I want to talk about January farewell, guys. Yeah, venye ikuja venye itakuja, man. Go having sex ni kama unacheza kati. Ni kama unacheza kati, akirusha unashika, unarusha. Ashike unarusha. Both of you are playing. Hakuna mtu mwenye ni mkubwa kushinda mwingine hapa. Kama unataka kuona uchi wangu, mimi na wewe tuko same. Kama unajiona sana, enda ukae na watu rika yako. As long as you're seeing my nakedness, me and you equal. If you think you're bigger, endea Beyonce, endea Didi, endea mtu mwenye ni mkubwa kutoshana na wewe. Unafanya nini kwangu? What are you doing with me? If you feel like you're higher than me, what are you seeing my nakedness for? If you feel like you're higher than me, if you're having sex with someone, we equal, man. Equal. As long as mtu amekutolea nguo, wewe umetoa nguo, people who don't listen to Kiswahili, I'm sorry. But as long as somebody has removed their clothes and you've removed your clothes, you are equal now. Equal. It doesn't matter if that person is the president of the United States of America. Akishaleta mboro yake, mboro imekuja. Tuko equal. Urelax hapo, hiyo presidency utarudia baadaye. Na kama uwezi wacha hiyo presidency, enda ufuck hiyo presidency. Usinilete. Never go fucking with someone when you think that they are higher than you, that you are subordinate. Usiwae, utachotwa. You will not even be able to desire yourself. As long as you place somebody on a pedestal, you are going to have sex with them and already they are here and you are here. Your self-desire will not come. All of you must be here for your self-desire to come, for their self-desire to come. If somebody's here and somebody's here, self-desire of this person will not come. And this person will take advantage of this person. So only have sex when self-desire iko hapa, equal. Tunyonyane, equal. Omera, if you want to play power, do it after we are out of this bedroom. But as long as you're in my bedroom, wewe na mimi equal. Nonsense. Hakuna wizi. Anyway, guys, are you getting the point of what I'm talking about? Yes. It doesn't matter who that person is. Hata kama ni Yesu ameshuka leo anataka kuma yako. Unamwambia Yesu, kama unataka kuma yangu lazima ujue mimi na wewe equal. Kama unataka kujiona Yesu, kwenda ufuck Maria. Enda ulale na mtu mwingine, Mary Magdalene or whatever.
Now I know where you can go for that.
Oh, where
I'm
is
just
that
giving an
though?
example. I'm just saying that even if that person is Jesus,
Hi.
and they come to your
Nicole, nice to
bedroom, they
meet
want
you.
your vagina.
Next time we'll go for
You tell them Jesus, leave that
Sounds
Jesus
good.
ness outside.
Thank you.
As long as you want my vagina, wewe na mimi, we are equal. And if you can't come down or be at my level, then go look for Mary Magdalene. Or look for somebody else, Ruth, or somebody. Go find somebody else. You have no business being in my bedroom if you want to be higher and above me. Somebody's asking, how do you take, thank you, how do you take your power back? Honor, when you know yourself, guys, know yourself. Most of the time, taking your power back is in the Aquarius energy. You have to know yourself and be okay with who you are. Know your flaws and be okay with your flaws. Know your perfections and be okay with your perfections. People will take your power when you are ignorant. It is ignorance that makes your power be taken away from you. Because now they will use your insecurities that you are not aware of against you. And those insecurities, they are there truly. So just know your insecurities. Everybody has them. Know your flaws. Everybody has them. And know your power. It is a balance. We are all a balance of flaws and power. And you cannot use my flaw against me if I've already accepted myself. You cannot shame the shameless. You cannot come tell me that, hey, you ni malaya. Na mimi nishakubali mimi ni malaya. Unaniambia nini? Mimi ni malaya. Naipenda. Can I book you? Can I put you on my schedule? Mimi but now kama wewe mwenyewe hujui wewe ni malaya. Na wewe ni malaya. Alafu mtu akuja kuambia wewe ni malaya, utaanza kulia. You'll start crying. Oh, Benito malaya. And then now your self-analysis starts being upside down. Accept yourself. Accept everything about you. Some people, it is as easy, as simple as you are dark skin. But because you've not accepted yourself, you think you're light skin. So if somebody comes and tells you dark skin, you start crying. But if you know you are dark skin, and then somebody comes to tell you you are dark skin, then you tell them, oh man, yes, next. Anything else? Yeah. Are you getting my point? The point is home, Cindy. The point is home, right? The people who don't speak Kiswahili, you will learn Kiswahili by the time I'm done with you. By the time I'm done with you, you will learn Kiswahili. So that's what it is, guys. Yeah, that's what it is. What about self-pleasure? Self-pleasure is now how you know yourself. Self-pleasure is how now you know what you like, what you don't like. Self-pleasure is what makes you learn your own body. It is the very first form of sexual intercourse. And actually, if you are a deity that doesn't involve themselves in sex with other people, self-pleasure is how you manifest. And those are things that I will teach now on the other side. How to manifest using self-pleasure. I will not do it here. Here, I'm just introducing my OnlyFans so that you know what will be there. Self-pleasure is the first tool for knowing yourself sexually. Mtu ajinyandui atajua kunyanduliwa. Nitakwambia ukweli. Mtu ajinyandui atakaa hapo kama sack of maize, kama a log. They don't even know what they like. They don't know what they don't like. They are meeting sex for the first time. But people who know how to pleasure themselves, they will even know. You know, sometimes when you're having sex, somebody can start doing something that you know you don't like, and you don't have to sit through it. When you know yourself, you just change them immediately. Like if they're putting their hand somewhere that you don't like, you just remove their hands with love, with compassion, in a way that doesn't make them feel like, oh man, I'm gonna happen. No, in a way that is lovely and sexual, and you move on. But somebody who doesn't masturbate, they will take everything. Even when they don't like it, when somebody's doing something they don't like, they don't know. Then they think that, oh, this is how it's always done. So they take everything. But if you know you are a self-pleasure queen, quickly, if somebody's going a direction you don't like, you just stand them and tell them, this is the direction I like. This is the direction I like. Is the point home? Medusa. Thank you so much, Medusa. Is the point home? Are gay men spiritual talk? It depends. You know, when I say anal sex is sin, I don't mean homosexual sex or gay sex is sin. Gay sex doesn't have to be anal. Gay sex can be two dicks knowing each other. Gay sex has different, you don't have to penetrate the anus of someone in order for you to have sex or homosexual sex. Gay sex can happen in many different forms, and I think homosexual men who are a little bit, men can never be spiritual as much as women are. They can never reach the level women are. It's not easy. It's just the same way it's not easy for a woman to reach the muscle components of a man. It's not easy. So it's the same way it is not easy for men to reach the spiritual components of a woman. But they can reach somewhere. If the women are here spiritually, a man can go up to somewhere here. They can never reach the full bloom of spirituality, but they can tread somewhere. And spirituality with men is muscle. Actually, men who are very spiritual are very masculine. Men who are very spiritual are very masculine because their spiritual role is to protect and provide. So if you're looking for spirituality in men, don't look the gay direction. Look at those masculine ones, the ones who look like lions. Me, I like them. The ones who look like lions. The ones who, when you look at them, you are intimidated. And usually they have the softest hearts. They look scary on the outside, but they have the softest hearts. Those are the spiritual men. Those are the ones that are spiritual. The gay ones who are trying to be females and whatever, no, spiritual level, bottom of the barrel. I'll tell you that for free. Men who are spiritual are very protective of women because the spiritual role of a man is to protect the woman. The spiritual role of Osiris is to support Isis. So that is what the divine masculine. The divine masculine men, they are very scary, huge. The ones with Obelix.
Ready to go?
The Luther,
Okay.
the ones they call the Nephilim. The ones like the son of Donald Trump. The ones that are very masculine. Those are the spiritual men. If you want to look at the direction of spiritual men, look at the masculine. If you want to look at the direction of spiritual women, look at the extremely feminine ones. Those are the most spiritual. Women who are very feminine are spiritual. Men who are very masculine are very spiritual. They don't care about it.
And then we want to think about the amount of numbers of how many passes you're going that
No
you've
sex
done.
with
So I
teen.
think we did
Unless it's your thing, no?
3 today.
Unless it's your thing. You know, there's a topic in sexuality called fetishes.
Have to land in the land.
So unless you have a fetish for brokenness or for the trenches, then I would never advise you.
We
Guys,
forgot to take a step.
we're at 289. So
Steps.
anybody who's watching me here for the first time, kindly subscribe. Kindly subscribe.
Alright, so by December, by Wednesday.
So after this particular session. The only thing I wanted to talk to you guys about January, I want to remind you of the images that we had. Let me
Yeah, I heard about. Do you know about Thursday? Okay.
So
what time
January
do you have to
fair,
be
when
there?
January has come,
12:30.
I'll probably
and most of the things that we did in January,
Yeah, that'd be nice.
she's kind of
we thought, do you guys remember? Do you recall?
yeah, for the last month. Getting
Do you
back
recall?
together. Yeah.
Because this is what I want to do the January fair when do you recall?
She doesn't need to do. Is it comp suit
Yeah, this
and
is what
the
I
whole
want to do the
night?
January
for
fair when
Thursday?
we
No, we won't do that because not everybody has theirs.
And listen to me, listen good, because this is the last thing I'm doing, and then I leave.
Just with any luck, they'll arrive prior to, but I'm not
God,
all of that. We didn't discuss
God the
that.
mind.
Well, I'll wait for the email
Yeah.
for extra details.
Yes.
But okay.
So God
So
the
training finishes
generator, God the
same time?
operator,
Same
and
time, so
God
they'll do
the
their
generative.
work with the judge.
So when you look at this is how,
They're 12:30, so they can be
when I
warmed
always
up as
say
soon as
God
she
the
gets
day,
to
God the
the
way you got the
radio,
get here,
and
it is
then
here.
probably have a break at
And
that
when
point.
you look at the Indian one, oh no, this one I don't want to use, this one I don't want to use,
Thank
this
you so
is
much,
demonic to operate. It is angelic to Europe. It is angelic to Europe, by the way.
Bye. See
Guys,
you.
as we move
Same here.
into the
Bye.
diversification of religion, polytheism is a thing. So this works for Europeans, but it doesn't work for Africans. This is what works for Africans. And this is what works for the Indians. So now that we have polytheism, everybody has their own. So listen, when we are talking about the generator, the operator, okay. Let me sit like this. The generator, the operator, the generated. The same as the soul, which is authenticity, and then the mind, which is belief, and then the body, which is support. The body supports belief and authenticity. So listen, what I want you to see here is, now I'm always talking about, listen to
Mom,
me.
this so
I'm
nice.
always talking about God the day, God the body, and God the great year. God the day, God the body, and God the great year. So now, this is what is a representation of that. The motherhood deity generates, and the motherhood deity is representative of the woman, and the motherhood deity is representative of the creator. It is the representation of our ancestors, the soul, which is representation here, the soul. Look, when you look at the Indian one, the soul is made up of ancestors. You see this soul, it is having a lot of faces. Other faces are behind. These are ancestors. Atum is behind. The soul has ancestors. That's why I'm always telling you, from Hawa 1 up to Hawa 22. From Hawa 1 up to Hawa 24, you have ancestors interchanging in you.
And I mean, like, no one's coming.
You have different ancestors interchanging in you. You don't look the same all the time. There's no time that you look the same. As when you look at me like this, you can tell that I'm Surinyarka.
Yeah.
But me, when I look at myself, most of the time I don't recognize even who that was. Like, I don't have Surinyarkan on me. When I see Surinyarkan on the street, I will not even know that it's Surinyarkan. Why? Because I don't know the face of Surinyarkan. But you who is looking at me, you are seeing my silhouette. You are seeing a silhouette of me.
Hungry?
So now this silhouette contains ancestors that are interchanging
What?
constantly in
Where's
it.
Edo in the
But the
mall?
people from outside can only view the silhouette. They cannot see the ancestors that are constantly interchanging. They can only see the silhouette. So this should kill your social anxiety. Some people have social anxiety because you think people know what is going on in you. Nobody knows what is going on in you. People can only see your silhouette. Okay, unless they are enraptured by the Holy Ghost, unless they can see everything. But majority of the population cannot see the silhouette. And so the way you see yourself in the mirror is not how we see you, my dear. Some of you look at yourself in the mirror and you see some ugly shit. And you think that's what people see. No. we don't see what you see when you look in the mirror. Us, we only see what your ancestors want us to see when we look at you. So most of the time, 99% of the time, or 100% of the time, you look more beautiful when we see you. The way you see yourself, people see the way you see yourself compared to how people see you.
When I
people
heard
see you more
them,
beautiful.
I'm like, I've heard
than the way
enough.
you see yourself.
I just
because
laugh.
you see yourself with all
Because you
the
notice I wasn't
flaws,
inside, right?
with everything.
Because
that's
usually I stand in
component
the
of
corner. It was just
and
too
your
much,
ancestors.
bro.
But people only see a silhouette. So the outer face, exactly. How you see yourself is not how we see you. So now, even as you work on yourself and you use Sagittarius energy to make yourself beautiful, just know that when you see yourself as beautiful, outside world is now going to see you even as more beautiful. When you see yourself as ugly, the outside world is just going to see you as average, like not that bad. So that should kill your social anxiety. You look better than you think or than you see. So now, who are the generator? The generator is authenticity. And then we have the operator. So on this particular 3 deities, we have the generator, we have the operator, and then we have the generator. That's what we are talking about.
No,
so the
not on my
generator is
phone.
authenticity. The operator is belief, and then the generator is support. So what is the representation? The generator is just the maternalness, your maternal side, your lineage, legacy that is maternal. So even men, your generator energy is your feminine energy. That feminine energy within you is the generator energy. The authenticity is feminine. So your authenticity is the generator. Now who is the operator? Operator is self-belief. Operator is representative of the 7 days. So who is the operator? Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn. Those are the operators. And then who are the generated? Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. I want you to get this before I leave this particular class. You must get this before I leave this particular class. The operator is the 7 days. And then the generated is the 3 planets. I talked to you guys about how Uranus is Mercury in higher octave. Neptune is Venus in higher octave. Pluto is Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn in higher octave. So now, when we are talking about the 3 deities of energies, you have your body as the generator, and then you have the day as the operator, which is operated by your mind, your self-belief, your mindset. And then you have the generated, which is the 3 other planets.
That's what
So
he
the
wants?
more you operate in
What
the
he had
7
the other day?
days, the more you are creating Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. I don't know whether this is making sense the way I'm putting it. Because I really want this to make sense to you guys so that you start using this particular energy with awareness. The 7 days are the operator. That's the day, which is the same as the great year. So we have the body, which is authenticity, which is the same as the day, the 7 days a week, which is the same as the great year, which is Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. So now the operator is the one that becomes the generator. Let's look at it in the African concept. Mimi na nitashinda hapa na nyinyi. It is the generator. It is the operator that becomes the generated. Osiris.
It's not like a
It is the
regular
operator,
day where it's just
Heru,
like,
that becomes the generated
hot meal. It's
Osiris. So
like,
here, this child is represented by the 7 days. This is your body. This is the day and this is the great year. The body is the same as the day and it's the same as the great year. The body is the same as the day and it's the same as the great year. It's not this one that I've put here. This and this and this. I want you to look at it in a way that is operational to you. The body, which is the soul, is the same as the day and it's the same as the great year. So authenticity is the same as self-belief and it is the same as support. So now authenticity is the one that gives birth to Heru. Heru is representative of the 7 days. The 7 days. The 7 days is the moon, the sun, Mars, Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn. Operators. And then the generated are Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. So it is Uranus, Neptune, and
You hung
Pluto
up
that
already?
support.
He doesn't want to?
No.
this. So when this grows to become big, it takes the throne of this. So it is this that becomes this. It is this that becomes this. It is this that becomes this. But it is this that gives back to this. Yawa, it is this that gives back to this, and it is this that becomes this.
Try and convince him.
So the body, which is the soul, is the same as the day, and it's the same as the great year. So great year is represented by Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. By the time you reach at Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, you are thick. Know that you've developed your self-support. But then this is a child. This is a child version of this. This is a child version of this. This is a child version of this. So operator is the child version of the generator. Is it getting somewhere? Yes, you have to be authentic every day. And that authenticity that you have, that authenticity that you have is going to, that authenticity that you have is going to give back to your self-belief, and then your self-belief is going to give back to your self-support.
So I don't know.
So your authenticity, 7 days, great year, the last 3 planets.
And then it carried down to the 14th.
Yes, authenticity gives back to self-belief that grows to become self-support. Authenticity gives back to self-belief that grows to become self-support. So it is your soul that gives back to the 7 planets, and it is the 7 planets that become the last 3 planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. And you know, Pluto is a representation of the 3 planets. Pluto is a representation of the action planet. Mars is action-oriented. Jupiter is action-oriented. Saturn is action-oriented. Neptune is Venus, love. And then Uranus is a grown version of Mercury. So Uranus is a grown version of Mercury, Neptune is a grown version of Venus, Pluto is a grown version of Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn.
So
So they are the Osiris. They are the ones that make up this. So in African theology, you find that the 7 days are with children. And when children grow up, they become
So I'm just looking
another.
for where would the 4-1 be at this
So
point?
this is the one that becomes this. So both this and this come from her. Both self-belief and self-support come from
When I get down to
this
the
woman
airport?
here. This is why the black woman. They want to replace the black woman. Because it is the
I
black
don't even
woman that
recall
gives back to
passing the airport,
self-belief
that's why
that
I'm
grows
just
to
like-
become self-support. So both self-belief and self-support come from the soul. So you can already see the planets, all the planets, they come from
Yeah, I understand what you mean
the
because it's
soul,
where
from
I get
earth,
on,
from
right?
humanity.
Okay,
This
so
is the mother of humanity. This is the body of humanity.
West.
And then it is this humanity that gives back to belief. These are the planets, the 7 planets. And then it is those 7 planets that grow to become these other 3 planets.
My
Yes.
car is vibrating.
So,
really loud.
authentic, the same way
I think it's the same
births is the
thing
same
that we
way the
experienced
7
before at certain
planets
speeds.
births, and it's the same way there are 3 higher octaves planets births. Therefore, the day, which is the 7-day planet, is the same as the soul, which is the creator, and it is the same as the great year, which is the 3 higher octave planets. The soul and the 7 days are moving towards 3 higher octaves of existence. Right now you are hearing Elon saying, we're going to Mars, we're going to Mars, we're going to Mars. Is when the planet wants to start taking action. So this is why I'm telling you, black people, wake up.
Once I see it, I should know.
The planet has never been taking action. Since the time of the Greeks up to right now when America is in the hand of Trump, these people have just been wanting to explore the moon. The woman, they were studying the woman. So now is when they want to go into action, is when they want to explore Mars. And where is Mars going to lead them? Mars is going to lead them into Jupiter. Where is Jupiter going to lead them? Jupiter is going to lead them into Saturn, which is now going to bring Pluto. So as a woman, when you hear the men are going to Mars, men are going back to action taking. Men are going back to being useful. Men are going back to being providers. Is Mars a lower time level? I've already told you that Pluto is the higher octave of Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn are related. They are the same. Mars helps you to take action. Jupiter Jupiter helps you to expand from the action you taken from Mars, and then Saturn helps you to restrict over expansion from the expansion you did in Jupiter. Are you getting my point? Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn are related. They are a continuation of each other. That's why all of them, they form Pluto. Is it making sense to you? When you take action on Tuesday, it is that action you take on Tuesday that will expand on Thursday. And it is that expansion you did on Thursday that you restrict on Saturday. So now men, under the leadership of Elon Musk, are going to Mars. They are going to Tuesday. You can already see where humanity is. We are at Tuesday. We are at the beginnings of the week. We are at children. And then it is this Mars energy. When they work there, they're going to get into expansion. They're going to expand into Jupiter. And then when they expand into Jupiter, they're going to have to go to Saturn to restrict over expansion. And by the time they're done with that now, that is Pluto energy. Transformation. Unanielewa jamani? Because right now the way a lot of people don't comprehend what is going on. Some people are afraid that Elon are going to Mars. It's a good thing. You guys have been complaining that men are useless. So now going to Mars, men are finally going to be useful. It's a good thing. But now as a woman, get into Venus. When men are going to Mars, get into Venus. Beautify yourself. Love yourself. Because when men get into Mars, they're going to start having some money here and there. When they get into Jupiter, they're going to be rich here and there. And you know, who are they making those money for? Us. So the more beautiful you are, the more you will be at the highest level of priority from that mass energy that men are going to explore. So as a woman, work on your beauty, because competition is going to be unbelievable. When men get into Mars, now beauty is the only thing that is going to sell. Nothing else. Beauty and authenticity is the only thing that is going to sell. So work on your Venus energy. As men are going to Mars, women go to Venus. Mimi nishafika Venus yangu, niko OnlyFans nimekaa. Na ngoja sasa. Don't go to Mars with men. You'll turn masculine, you become a man. When men are going to Mars, sisi kazi yetu ni kuangoja kwa bedroom, tuwapatie petrol ya the next day. As they go to Mars, sisi tunawangoja kwa bedroom kila usiku. Tunawapatia petrol ya the next day. That is what our function is going to be. When men take their spiritual role, then women, you take your spiritual role too. Don't be afraid. It's a good thing that men are going to Mars. Because they've been in the moon. They've been in intuition for the longest time. Men have been in intuition trying to figure out women for the longest time. Now they're tired. They're like, them trying to figure out women made them want to become women. And the likes of Elon Musk have come to say that, you know what? Let's go to Mars. It's enough with the moon or, you know, shoe or whatever. It's enough. Let's now go into taking action. Because the planet needs action. There's a particular book here. I don't know whether it's close. If it is close, I'll read it. If it is not, okay, it's close. So there's this book that will say stuff that will make sense to you and make you know that men going to Mars is a good thing. Don't feed into the fear-mongering. Yeah, I think I'll start reading it from here. There are many universities, especially in the United States, and many departments of knowledge, but they are not discussing this point. Okay, let me start up maybe.
What's the matter?
I was trying to look up like level 5 tumbling classes.
Yeah?
And I was like, wasn't giving me a certain answer. It kept going to like gymnastics.
Let me just read this part of the book for you so that you know what I'm talking about. So that it is going to make sense to you, I think, from here.
The exam class that I'm doing right now is going
Okay, so there are two kinds of entities. The moving, such as human beings, animals, and insects, and the non-moving, such as trees and mountains. Krishna says that material nature, which controls both kinds of entities, is acting under his control, her control, but the masculinized the God. So under his control. Thus, behind everything, there is a supreme controller. Modern civilization does not understand this concept due to lack of knowledge. It is the purpose of this society for Krishna consciousness, therefore, to enlighten all people who have been maddened by the influence of the three models of material nature. In other words, our aim is to awaken mankind to its normal condition. So listen, there are many universities, especially in the United States, and many departments of knowledge, but they are not discussing these points. Where is the department for this knowledge that we find given by Krishna? When I spoke before students and some faculty members at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, the first question raised was, where is the technology department which is investigating the difference between the dead and the living? When a man dies, something is lost.